Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 849. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
All right, so what do we got, Chris? What's Star Wars stuff?
Well, there's nothing really new. There's been a couple of Rogue One TV spots that I've been staying away from because, in my opinion, they're showing a little too much.
Okay.
Really, what I wanted to talk about was Rebels. I gotta admit, this season's been pretty disappointing.
Oh, I saw you post briefly because I was watching Rebels, and I'm like, oh, he's not happy about it. Yeah.
Yeah, the last two episodes have really been filler, and really, it's been after that Darth Maul episode,
Right.
it's been nothing. And even before that, there really hasn't been anything. I have to admit, like, they have Thrawn in the show now, and I'm very happy because he's canon. But he doesn't do anything.
Right.
He kind of just stands around and gives orders. And, that's kind of what he did in the novels. But in the novels, he had, like, a really, like, kind of terrifying presence almost. Like, when he was in the area, you knew, oh, someone's about to get destroyed. In this show, he's just kind of meh.
Oh, no.
So, I'm hoping that maybe towards the mid-season finale we get more stuff, but I mean, I got to tell you, I mean, the episode before this one was okay at the end. Leading up to the end was just so boring, and then last week's was just terrible. They had these kids that were supposed to be like they could take on the Empire themselves, but really they were only taking on like minor parts of the Empire. And, they thought this small ship shows up, and they're like, oh, it's a Star Destroyer, and we're going to take it down. It's like, that's not even a Star Destroyer. That's a small cruiser. And, it was like, who cares?
Right.
Who cares? Like, this doesn't even, add on to the show, much less to the overall story. So, I don't know. It's been...
How many episodes do we have till the mid-season finale?
I think a couple more.
And then they take a break, and then they come back?
Yeah, I think it's ending a couple weeks before Rogue One, so I don't think we have many more shows left.
2 more?
This part, maybe 1 or 2 more. I think. Yeah, I think
that sucks. All right.
I mean, it's a tight squeeze because the timeline that they're in right now is getting very close to Rogue One.
Okay.
So if these characters are still around during the time of Rogue One, it's going to be kind of difficult not to mention them in Rogue One, you know what I'm saying? Because they've become a big part of the rebellion, so much so that Vader, the Inquisitors, and Thrawn are, trying to get rid of them. Not, really actively, but they are trying to get rid of them.
And this is definitely canon to the movies.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So, I don't know. There was an episode beforehand that was somewhat filler, but it introduced, Empire loyal Mandalorians, and that was cool. That was good for filler. That was a really good episode. But I gotta admit, I've been pretty disappointed with this season, and I was thinking about it too. They can't have Darth Maul in a anthology movie with Obi-Wan.
Why?
The timeline that he figures out that Obi-Wan is still alive,
right?
Luke is already 19 years old.
Oh, so he's old.
Yeah, because this show is right before Rogue One, which is right before Episode 4.
Someone's got to stop him from encountering Obi-Wan, probably.
I think that's probably going to be the mid-season.
Like Darth Vader, maybe, or something.
Yeah, so if they are doing an Obi-Wan anthology movie, it's pretty much confirmed that Maul is not going to be the villain. Right. Which I'm okay with. I mean, that's fine, as long as they have a good villain. But, I mean, I guess, like you said, what they're leading up to is maybe Maul versus Vader.
I mean, if you had to end off the series, wouldn't you have, Darth Vader? Because everybody was always who's better, Vader or Maul, right? Wouldn't you have, show dominance, Vader just crushes him and kills him and be done with it, that's it? Darth Vader's...
for the mid-season finale, yes, I would do that. I would have Vader kill Maul.
Right.
And that way it would kind of bring it full circle, Maul killed Qui-Gon, and then Vader kills Maul,
And that would make more sense, too.
I think it would.
He would remember that. And
Yeah, I
maybe he
think
would
it
have that little semblance of himself that says, oh, now I'm going to give payback. This is bullshit. Yeah. I mean, that would work.
I think that would work. Honestly, if you're asking me how I would end the series, because I think this series has one season left. I really do. I think it's only going to have one left, and then they're going to move on to another animated show.
Right.
I personally would have, if they're not going to turn one of the characters to the dark side, because I'm starting to think that the way they're presenting Ezra now, it doesn't look like he's going to turn to the dark side. What I would probably do, if they're not going to go in that direction, I would have Vader kill them. I would just have Vader. To be honest, I would have Vader and Thrawn do it. Like, I would have Thrawn set the trap, and then Vader show up, like, not out of nowhere, but like he's been involved. But I'd have Thrawn set the trap for them. Some of them that get killed there, and then Vader shows up to like get rid of the rest, and he kills Kanan and maybe Ezra or something like that.
Well, that's a bleak
because they can't
ending,
be around. What?
I mean, that's a bleak ending that everybody dies, nobody wins, right? I mean, like,
Yeah, but I mean, they can't be around.
That's true.
Like, think about it. If they're around, why weren't I mean?
Correct.
Logically, we say they didn't exist when 4, 5, and 6 were made.
Well,
so
that's the whole thing.
Around.
It's like we didn't see them. Just because we didn't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. But
right,
they have to be dead before that happens, right?
I think they have to be dead, because then you're going to have people asking now, well, how come they didn't hear about? Because everybody heard about Luke. You know what I'm saying? When he destroyed the Death Star, his name spread throughout not only the entire rebellion, but the entire empire eventually. So, but the rebellion first. So why wouldn't Kanan and Ezra be like, wait a minute, especially Kanan? He'd be like Skywalker, like Anakin Skywalker, because he knew who Anakin Skywalker was, and so does Ezra now. Ahsoka told Ezra about Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
So either they have to be dead, or one of them turns to the dark side and is doing something else, which I find kind of
right.
I doubt that. So I'm guessing Vader is going to kill them, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. That sounds. I mean, so another season, right?
I'm guessing one other season, yeah. Unless they somehow say no, we can fit 2 seasons in here, which I doubt. I really do.
Okay. All right. One other thing, off topic with Star Wars. There was another topic. If I don't know, should we just end it off with this, or go into something else?
Oh, go ahead, go into something else.
The Soul Gem for who has the Soul Gem for the Avengers Infinity War?
Right.
Doesn't Adam Warlock have the Soul Gem? Are they going
to traditionally, I believe he does.
Isn't he going to appear in Thor or something, or Adam Warlock?
I have no idea, to be honest with you, because I remember there was an article that came out a while ago talking about Guardians Volume 2, and in that they said that the story has nothing to do with an Infinity Gem, or I think with Thanos as well.
And I heard that Thor has nothing to do with it either, so when the hell are you going to have the Soul Gem?
The only thing I can think of,
Infinity
because they're not going to put it in Spider-Man. I'd be very surprised. I guess, like what you said, maybe it's in Infinity War. And
wait. Is Black Panther before Infinity War?
I don't know. I think so.
Infinity War is not. When is Infinity War?
It's in 2018.
So Black Panther would have to have the Soul Gem, the Panther God and whatever. Like, there's probably going to be the Soul Gem in Black Panther then, probably, right?
I'm assuming so.
Let's get the chart. Let me. Do you know where we can get the chart?
The chart for what? For the Marvel movies?
Marvel movies, yeah.
You can probably find it on Google.
All right, so we just Marvel Phase 3, right? Phase 3. Okay, so let's just see.
It is a good question because, like, it's the last one. It's the last gem. So.
All right, so basically, Oh, wait a minute.
July 6th, 2018, Black Panther.
No, that's not. No, wait a minute. Why do I have all this? Is all. This is not. I need an accurate thing. Where am I going to get that? All right. Okay, let me see what's updated. All right, hold on a second.
Oh, now it's either July 6th or February 16th, but it is in 2018.
All right, so I think Black Panther comes before that, right?
That is Black Panther. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so Black Panther or Captain Marvel. No, wait. Infinity War's in
That
May.
comes out later on.
Infinity War's in May. Okay. And then Captain Marvel's in July. All right, so Black Panther, they're going to have the Soul Gem in Black Panther. That's what I'm predicting.
So Black Panther's coming out July 6th, 2018. I don't know why that other site said.
Oh, then it's not. Then we don't. Then in Infinity War at the beginning, it's going to have to be the Soul Gem.
It has to be, because maybe what they're going to do is they're going to say that that's the last gem that everybody's looking for and nobody knows where the hell it is.
Maybe Thanos has one gem at least.
Or maybe he has it, yeah.
I think Thanos has the Soul Gem, probably.
I was kind of shocked that the Soul Gem wasn't the one used in Doctor Strange. I'm going to be honest with you, because...
Well, they did the time travel stuff.
They did, yeah. But I was saying from the beginning, I thought it would have been... I mean, don't get me wrong. I like what they did in Doctor Strange. I'm not saying that was bad. But when I heard that, when we were thinking about it, I thought maybe the Soul Gem would be there because, Dormammu, devours souls. So I thought maybe the villain was working for Dormammu, trying to bring him, like he was in the movie.
Right.
And maybe he was collecting souls through an item that happened to be the Soul Gem, Right. And then they were going to leave the Time Gem for Infinity War, because maybe Thanos does his thing, and then somehow they get the gem.
But that's what I thought. Then Tony Stark would reverse time, and
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'm actually interested that they didn't do that. It makes me wonder what they are going to do.
Yeah. I think Adam Warlock has to be in it because if he's the main thing. If he's not in it, then who's the character that's going to replace his role? The Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be the Infinity Watch all of a sudden?
That'd be kind of hard to do, right?
And then there'll also be restricting them to what stories they can tell because they each have a gem. Drax, Rocket, they would all have the 6 gems. Basically of the Infinity Watch, Gamora and Drax were with Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
Infinity Watch. And it was Pip the Troll instead of Rocket Raccoon, Mm-hmm. So, I honestly think they have to have Adam Warlock in this. I don't see how any other way. They got to have him in it.
The only thing I can think of is maybe they don't want to introduce him because his backstory is really complicated. And they're like...
Listen, they could just... Look, they just create a new origin that Thanos had... Or somebody had created a new life form or something and from human DNA, and they mixed it with his DNA or something. He got Adam Warlock. Maybe
he's like guarding the gem somewhere. Like maybe he's like dormant somewhere in the galaxy, and he's got the gem. And then when they try to get the gem, he wakes up, and he knows what's going on. Like he knows how to stop it. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because if you look at that teaser that they released a while back with Thanos with the completed Infinity Gauntlet. The gem is actually like huge. It's like bigger than the other ones. It's like in the center of the gauntlet, and it's big. It's white. It's a big white stone. It doesn't look like the other ones.
Yeah.
Because all the other ones, the only one that was missing was the green one. But now in Doctor Strange, obviously that's the time one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's it's gonna be weird to see. It's funny too that this whole saga is coming to an end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to move on to another story after that, And
the thing is that, too, you do one of the biggest storylines in the Marvel Universe, and you mix it with other storylines like Civil War and everything. So what the hell could you possibly do? They said they got to go low-key. You can't always have the biggest, like Secret Wars or...
Yeah, no.
I mean, they were basic, you know. So, I mean, honestly, I think the main focus of 4 would be like a soft reboot, where it'd be new members of the Avengers,
Yeah, that's what I think too.
and
Yeah.
just go and deal with some, whatever. Maybe.
Like I said, like I've been saying, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see another Captain America movie for a little while, if we don't see another Iron Man or Thor for a little while, because I think that they're going to focus on some of these new heroes like Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, you know.
Well, I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to go on a limb and predict the Avengers storyline after Infinity War.
What do you think?
I mean, and I'm not talking about Infinity War Part 1, Infinity War Part 2, which I don't know what they're doing still, whatever. But when the Thanos thing is over, I think that what they're going to have to do is they're going to try to keep it local on Earth. And I think the only thing that they could probably do to throw everybody off is, and I'm pretty sure that they have the rights to the character, but to do Atlantis attacks, like Namor, the Submariner, and introduce that whole Atlantis thing. And then you go flashbacks back and forth. Maybe, Captain America dealt with him in the past. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Do they have the rights to Namor?
I thought they did. I thought they got it back.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Namor is not. He's been around. Marvel's first heroes was Captain America, Namor, and like the Torch.
Yeah.
Human Torch, but not the Fantastic Four one.
Yeah, a different one. Yeah.
It was a synthesoid, like a robot. Robot. So
he made a small cameo in the first Captain America movie.
Right. So to say that Namor is tied to the Fantastic Four 20th century, I don't really think you could say that. See, I don't know. That's kind of weird because we know he was in love with Sue and all that, Sue Storm, but he is a big enough presence where they would have to deal with that because he's always been like a hero villain.
Okay, yeah.
So Atlantis gets pissed off with different pollutions and things and whatever, and they had that whole storyline, which was like the whole annuals Atlantis attacks. So I mean, maybe they could do something like that. Again, I mean, other than that, there was a thing called the Acts of Vengeance, which that was one of my favorites, but that's kind of probably too low-key, where the villains swap the heroes, and they kind of defeat them because they faced villains they never faced before right away.
Yeah.
But other than that...
there's two things I'm thinking of that they could do.
But Fantastic Four has the rights to him, I think.
Right. There's two things I'm thinking of that they could do. And it all depends on what happens in Infinity War. If we don't see Red Skull in Infinity War, I could see him coming back, whether they have to recast him or whatever.
Well, he just said recently, 2 weeks ago, he did a whole, 180.
Oh, Hugo Weaving?
Yeah. And he said, You know what? I would love to play the Red Skull again.
Really?
And Marvel was like, basically. Because that's like, wow. Because originally they planned on doing 4 Captain Americas.
Yeah.
And the 4th Captain America, they would throw him in there. Maybe they would have a new Captain America, the Captain America messed up, and then Steve Rogers would have to come back into the show to take on the Red Skull. That's the whole thing. Like, so...
Yeah, I could see them doing that. The other thing that I think that they could do, because they never went back with this, they could do something with the real Mandarin.
Yes.
If they wanted to. They could set him up where he maybe gets some of the surviving villains together.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if they would do that because the rings are like the Infinity War.
Well, I mean, they'd probably give him something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do something different. I don't know, because they decided to do that short where it was discovered, where they revealed that yes, there is a real Mandarin. He's out there and he can do some stuff. So, I mean, maybe it's possible, but I don't know. It all depends on what happens in Infinity War, because I don't see all of them making it out alive. I really don't. Or I don't see all of them making it out with their abilities intact. I I'm looking at Captain America for that.
Yeah.
Possibly Tony Stark. But then again, Stark could always rebuild his suit. But if like he gets crippled or something, I mean, who knows?
Right.
I don't know. I have a feeling some of these Avengers that we've grown so attached to are not going to be okay after this.
Yeah. I mean, I basically, Thor is going to become unworthy. He's not going to have the hammer. They're going to have the She-Thor. The Hulk is going to be gone.
I don't know if they're going to do that whole She-Thor thing. I really doubt it because I don't think people would accept that. I think they'd look at that and say, "Oh, that's stupid."
Right.
Like you can do that in the comics, but in the movies, people would be like, "Yeah, I don't think so."
Well, it's just like you wouldn't do the deal with the devil with Peter Parker in the comic ever.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! I mean,
or like Spider-Man getting his eye ripped out, or like it's half the stuff that happens lately. I think the Red Skull or Atlantis is the way to go.
Yeah.
And again, you can't keep doing a thing with tons of property damage, and because then eventually everybody's going to go to war with the heroes again. Like this, I mean, I wasn't happy with that whole Civil War nonsense. And I would have thought after Baron Zemo guy interfering that they would have scrapped that whole thing, the Accords. I mean, that's not going to even be a play in this, right? I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's done. I think they scrapped the whole thing. I hope so, at least. Because then the heroes would still be locked up,
Yeah. No, I don't think that they're still locked up now.
Yeah.
I think that scene at the end of Civil War was to kind of show you that, okay, he got them out of there and they're...
Right, and I don't think the government, I think Tony Stark will end the Accords. Scrap the whole thing somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah. All right, Chris, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye for now.